Okay. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you very much, Dr. Mushtaq, for this introduction. Let me take the next 10 minutes and make a short wrap-up presentation. I've been given the task of come up with the capacity building needs and means to promote circular economy. We have listened to the part on circular economy on upstream and downstream. Let me start with this first one, ask this question. Is circular economy a reality today? Circular economy is discussed at every level, but is it really happening? Or it is just a buzzword? This is the fundamental question I like to throw. If you listen to all these presentations, circular economy should be booming. But if you go to the field, even today, many of the developing countries go to a dump site, this is what we see. Plenty of plastics there in the dump sites. Very often in the past, dump site used to be brown color or a green color. But today it's become white color because so much of plastic lands in the dump site in the thing. So reality and what we are talking, maybe it's not matching. This lack of matching maybe could be, you need to ask this question, are we training the right people? If you talk about needs here, the capacity building, if you look at it on this side, you have this classic linear economy, and what we need is on this side, circular economy, and which basically consists of 5-6 components, depends on how people present the circular economy, but basically on circular resource and energy supplies, resource recovery from waste, industrial symbiosis, product as a service, product lifecycle extension, redesigning product. And if you listen to this last 1 hour, 1.5 hours presentation, if you look at it, even generally we talk about here, it's the what actually is taking is the resource recovery from waste is the driver of the circular economy. We are forgetting all the other components, or we are not doing it as fast as other components are still on a sleeping mode. And many of our capacity building today is driven by waste to energy or waste treatment and etc. And we say that is circular economy. Is that what we want? And on the upstream, we talked about policies, and we also know like plastic management can be done by banning plastic, and we found the pitfalls. And this tells you, you can come up with a ban, and mankind is good enough to break the ban. Okay, so the issue is banning is not a solution. And we talk about something using product as a service. Yes, it has been happening in other sectors, like a photocopying machine, carpooling, and etc. It's happening. But is it happening in a plastic sector? Can you point out some good examples? Product as service, it's an issue. That's when the circular economy, one segment of the wheel is missing. Okay. What we say is sort of, this is what I like to summarize the current circular economy, the different components. Okay, sourcing, manufacturing, logistic, marketing and sales, product use, end of the life, 3R, and etc. And if you look at it very carefully, not all of them are working on the same level. The 3R and end of life disposal, that's what we call waste treatment. This is what its driver moving. So others are lacking. Are we training only 3R and waste management professionals? If you ask me, I'm a professional environmental engineer. I'm involved in teaching environmental engineering. I teach circular economy, but still our trust is on 3R and waste treatment. Is it correct? Maybe there is a gap. I mean, that is what we need to think about it carefully. What we have is linear economy. What we want is a circular, the third one. But what actually we are training is we are training people to on recycling and treatment. I think that is important to understand. There is a gap, okay? Recycling and waste treatment, we have to clearly understand it's not circular economy. It is only a part of a circular economy. So if you wanted to do this, I'll ask you another fundamental question. And we have found when you talk about circular economy and say somebody's companies doing circular economy, let's ask them, what are your indicators? Okay, when I say I'm driving fast, I have an indicator of I am driving 100 kilometers per hour. That's an indicator. In a circular economy, when people talk, you ask them, look at many of the companies, the documents or many municipalities which says we are in circular economy. These are the indicators they'll state: waste collection rate, waste segregation rate, recycling rate, energy conversion rate, and all these things. It is actually one component of circular economy, waste treatment and 3R. So it's important to understand we have not got the correct type of indicators to measure circular economy to move to the next level. And we need to get that understanding very clearly, and we need to do that. Now I said the needs, and we need to go to the means. To go to the means, we need to get that gap filled by capacity. The capacity building has to be done on a different level, individual level, institutional level, and etc. And the goal is essentially to train correct type of people to the circular economy. And it is also very important, there are different actors involved, and we need to have a sort of synergetic skill development is necessary with the system thinking approach. It's not that only 3R and waste management, could any sector that alone cannot be a circular economy. So we need to look at it, an interdisciplinary action between engineers, social scientists, managers, and policy experts are required. Okay. To do this, AIT as a regional institute, we have been spearheading in the past as one of the leading institutions to promote and educate sustainable consumption and production. We work very closely with different UN organizations, especially in UNEP and etc. Now we are moving from that part of a sustainable consumption and production to a circular economy. How we are doing it is, the first action we are doing it is trying to bring out an online course by April 2021 with a partnership with the UNEP and Swiss Asia program. And these are the course content, these materials will be available, which sort of covers on a different aspect of, as I say, the circular economy in plastic waste management. In addition to this, currently AIT is running a professional master's program and marine plastic abatement. Okay, it's a one-year graduate program, and it's very much be interested. Any of you are interested in participating in it, you could apply for this. We have the first batch of students. We have around 40 students from different parts of Asia already with us. We have started, and the second batch will be joining the January 2021, and this program will be continuing further. I think my time is up. With this note, I'll stop here. Maybe I just throw 3 questions to think as a points to ponder. As the industry recognize the importance to move towards circular economy, I wanted to ask these questions. Are they really ready? And they have to move it, and it's not the waste treatment. How do you do it? That's important. Are we willing to take the risk of undergoing a cultural change? If we wanted to see earlier we are selling products, now we are going to sell service. So there's a cultural change, and there's has to be necessary to develop a right benchmark. And it's also as important, the circular economy going to bring a lot of green jobs. Okay, so it's means social aspects. Earlier we are selling products, now we are not selling any more products. We might be selling service. So you need to train people in a different way. Are we ready? Are we doing that correctly? For overall employment opportunities, do we have the wide range of courses and qualifications? Maybe earlier we need managers, but maybe now you need more technical people because you're providing services. So you need to have a totally rethinking. Okay? And that is important. I think both industries and academic institutions need to understand this concept. Thank you very much. Thanks a lot.